Hello and welcome to Tech Deals. Are big, oversized triple fan graphics cards worth the money, or is it more hype than real? Today, I have two virtually identical graphics cards, except for the coolers. I say virtually because one's a 3070 and one's a 3060 Ti, but same VRAM, same chip, couple more disabled cores on the two-fan card. But this is the closest comparison I can make because these are the closest cards I have in these configurations. These are both PNY cards. These are both their high-end fancy cards within their given line, but this is just fancier with three big fans and a thicker cooler and whatnot. And so in just a minute, we are going to put these on our test bench, and I'm going to show you some footage of these cards. I'm going to put them under 100% load. We're going to listen to their sound. I'm going to check to see how hot they get, what kind of temperature they get up to. And then I'm going to give a verdict as to whether or not I think big monster cards are really a big deal versus little baby cards that do have some benefits, such as one 8-pin PCI Express power connector versus two. That matters to some people. Two fans, shorter, both in height and length. Thinner, a 2-slot card versus 2.5-slot card. And so if you have a smaller case, you might find this fits much easier than these huge monstrosities. Today's video is brought to you by URCD Keys, the best source for Windows 10 and Office Professional product keys at deeply discounted prices. More details at the end of the video. First off, any discussion of price is completely irrelevant in February of 2021 when this video is being recorded. Now, typically, if you go by the manufacturer's suggested retail price, a 3060 Ti starts at $399 and a 3070 starts at $499. If you're watching this video in 2022 or 2023, you may wonder, what in the world are we doing here? Well, unfortunately, in the spring of 2021, these cards are going for double retail price, if not more. Now, typically these cards will go for over the MSRP anyway because they are custom cooled aftermarket cards, and so they usually get between a $50 to a $100 price premium. Especially this really large triple fan cooler will go for a bit more. So instead of $499, you might expect $599. These are US prices for something like this, and maybe $449, $50 over for a card like this. Right now in February of 2021, when I'm recording this, both of these cards are trending at $1,000 on eBay. And when you can find them in retail stores, you're often looking at between $650 and $850 depending upon the store. That's just the spring of 2021 for you, so value and price are irrelevant. You get what you can. And when it comes to these cards in this environment, if one or the other is available, but they're not both available, any consideration of coolers is sort of irrelevant. If you want the big triple fan cooler, and this is the only thing at normal retail price, this is what you buy. And vice versa. If this is the only thing available at retail price, it would be less expensive to put your whole computer in a new case than it would be to pay the aftermarket prices for some of these cards. So you get what you get, and you don't throw a fit. So we'll take price, and we'll just put it aside. Instead, we'll assume for a minute that the price for you, whenever you're watching this, either you're buying them aftermarket or you find them in a retail store, the price is where it is, and you've accepted that, and now you're trying to figure out, do you buy a very large triple fan card, or do you buy something smaller and, shall we say, easier to fit into smaller cases? That's the purpose of this video, and that's what we're going to answer. But before we do that, we're going to take our trusty fish knife. We're going to open these. I'm going to show you what they look like. I'm going to put them side by side. We're going to go to our overhead camera, and then we're going to go to the test bench. Looking at the overhead camera here, I put the boxes side by side. You can see just how much truly larger the triple fan card is. It's not just length and height, but it is in fact also thickness as well. It is monstrously bigger. We're going to push the large one aside, and we're going to go to the two-fan card first. And this is the first time I've looked at these. I have not opened these yet to this point, so you get to see them at the same time I do. But I will, of course, interrupt the recording and go and test them and we will see how well they do. And it's a video card in a box. I know. It's very exciting. But it can be fun. Some of you enjoy this sort of thing. And inside, there's not much room. Look at this. There's just a teeny bit of foam around this card. It takes up almost the entire box. Taking it out, we see that does not weigh very much. Now, weight doesn't translate in videos the way maybe visuals do, but man, there's not much going on with this card. It does not weigh. That is very lightweight. I need to get like a really nice scale so I can put two different cards on it and see what they weigh. What else do we have in here? We have absolutely nothing except NVIDIA. Let's see here. Quick install guide. If you've seen one, you've seen 100. How to insert a graphics card in a computer. No power dongles, nothing. This is about as no frills as it gets. There's too small. In fact, that's already coming off right there. We'll take the little to be peeled off plastic. And we have plastic on the whole thing. Can I ASMR peel this off the entire card? In one piece? Probably not. Oh, did we get it? Did we get it? Did we get it? Victory! Take pride in small victories. This has got to be the cheapest no-frills card I have seen in some time. Holy smokes. I mean, it does have RGB. I will give it credit. Hopefully we'll see that when we turn it on. This right here is RGB, so it's got that. But the actual card itself, and it looks like this all might light up inside here as well. The actual card ends here. You can see the 8-pin PCI Express power connector. That's because there is no board past this point. In fact, the second fan blows straight through the card and out the back. So actually, it may cool pretty well. That's better than if there's a full solid backplate and then it just has to blow out the top. It may be small, but because of the pass-through cooling, it might not be too bad. Height-wise, you can see here, it is just slightly above the PCI Express power bracket that you insert into your computer. That's not too bad. It is exactly 2 slots thick. It does not extend even a millimeter beyond the second slot, so you've got very good fit. No problem getting that in there. And we've got 3 display ports and 1 HDMI port. They did not, however, include even a protective cover over the golden fingers. Not that that's a big deal. I take those off and throw them away anyway. I will caution you, the backplate, that's plastic. This is not a metal backplate. That is absolutely plastic. Does it matter? Probably not. But this is as no frills and cheap as it looks. How about we look at the other card? Moving right along to our big triple fan card. This should hopefully be much more impressive than the first. Now, of course, some of you care about appearances, some of you care about RGB, and some of you don't. I certainly understand that. And like I said, I will show you in a minute what the temperature and fan speed differences on these cards really is. Well, it's the same plain black box of the previous one, but when we open it, what do we see? We see a piece of foam where you would think there should be something inserted. Why there isn't, I don't know. That's kind of odd that there's nothing there. And then we have nothing in this spot where I would expect a PCI Express power adapter to be, but I do see a video card pushing against. Well, we'll see. It feels very basic. Taking the card out, it definitely weighs a lot more. As I said, weight isn't something that translates in a video. It's not super heavy, but it definitely is a lot heavier than the other card. It's still a plastic backplate. Seriously, PNY, for a card of this size and thickness, I would expect a metal backplate. And I gotta say, the entire thing feels cheap. Is that metal? If it is, it's the thinnest, cheapest metal in the history of the world. This is all plastic on the side. This is plastic. This might be metal, but it's a trivial amount of metal. That's just decorative. Plastic, plastic, plastic. 2 8-pin PCI Express power connectors, which are ridiculous overkill for a 3070, but it's there, great, whatever, wonderful. And it looks like we've got some RGB that will come through the back here. I think there's some. And what's nice is with the 3 fans, the 3rd fan blows through just like the 2-fan card does. And so these holes here are functional. The card actually ends right here. The card is not full length, but the heat pipes extend all the way down. There's 4 heat pipes. There are 4 heat pipes that extend all the way down. And so the fan blowing through here, blowing air up, definitely gives it some more performance. So that is nice to see. Do we have these plastic things to peel? There's no plastic on the rest of it, which is kind of odd. Well, that is the extent of the ASMR peeling, and it's the same ports in the back, 3 DisplayPort, 1 HDMI, a bunch of venting there, which probably does nothing. In fact, I can tell you it does nothing because the direction of the vanes means all the heat is going to blow out the top and the bottom, so that doesn't accomplish anything. What's my opinion so far? I am less than impressed, to be honest with you. Zooming in and putting them lined up with each other where the PCI Express bracket would be, you can see it's really not a whole extra fan's worth of length. You've got the fans spaced out on the 2-fan card, whereas on the 3-fan card, they're really crammed together. But that's a lot of cheap plastic exposed there. Maybe you care, maybe you don't. In terms of thickness, you can definitely see how much thicker the 3-fan card is. It extends out to about 2.5x slots width. So if you're trying to put 2 cards in your computer or you have additional cards inserted, then that certainly would cause an airflow issue. If you have a micro ATX motherboard and a micro ATX case, this certainly is not going to be a great choice. That might be who the 2-fan card is really designed for, is people with smaller cases. And then turning them over on the back, you can see the design language is basically the same. They both say GeForce RTX. The plastic, cheap plastic, is the same. There's a little bit of a cutout here. In fact, what's interesting is the 2-fan card is actually a bit taller than the 3-fan card. The 3-fan is almost flush with the bracket in the back, and then you've got the holes, much larger holes on the 2-fan card versus some very, very small holes on the 3-fan card. Well, this has been plenty of talking. How about we go put these on the test bench and see how they perform?
Hey, I love listening to that. Shut up. What did you say? You heard me.
Let me go, Takamura.
At least one of you's got.
Welcome back. You just saw some footage with the alternating audio between these two. Now keep in mind that your sound environment is going to be different. So let me offer you this thought when you're watching video card comparisons on YouTube. Case selection, room sound, reverb, large room, small room, carpet, hardwood floor. A case that has sound dampening material inside versus one that has a resonance or an echo may very well make more difference to the sound of your computer than any particular component selection such as graphics card that you pick. Put a inferior cooling solution in a be quiet case with sound deadening material in a nice room with sound dampening on the walls and without a direct echo, and you might find the computer is utterly silent. Put this objectively better card into a tinny cheap case in a room with hardwood floors, get a little bit of a resonance going, and you might hear it in the next room. Keep that point in mind. Having said that, is the triple fan cooler better than this double fan cooler? Yes, absolutely. It is just subjectively and objectively better. It was quieter, and on the same test bench in the same room at the same distance, listening with my natural ears, regardless of the recording, both the pitch of the fans, which was more pleasing to the ear, and the total volume was lower. In fact, I was kind of surprised. I was a little unimpressed by the plastic construction of the triple fan cooler. Plastic on the back, plastic on the sides. It just sort of felt, I was like, this is kind of underwhelming. I was a little disappointed taking that out of the box. Putting it on the computer, playing some Cyberpunk, running some crypto mining, it's remarkably good. Not too much heat came out of it. It ran relatively cool and relatively quiet. Knowing what I know now, would I be okay with this triple fan card? Yes, I would. Would I be okay with this double fan card? If it was cheaper and it was the only thing available, sure. If I had a really small case, a micro ATX case, and I didn't have any room, it's fine. But having experienced them both, would I pay $50 more to get this cooler with all other things being equal? Yes, I would, without any doubt. You're going to own the things for several years, and $50 spread across many years, having a cooler, quieter, more pleasing card is definitely a nice thing to have. But that's my opinion. You might disagree, and that is fine. Now, to address one comment that I am sure is going to be brought up in the comment section below, these aren't the same chip. How in the world can you compare two different coolers if they're not the same chip? You're correct. They're not the same chip. But as I said at the beginning of the video, they're really, really close. We got 75 frames per second average in the exact same place in Cyberpunk on the 3070 versus 67 frames per second average in the exact same place in Cyberpunk. Now, there is a small difference there, but that is relatively minor, and it's about the performance difference of the cores that you would expect. And certainly, the 3070 on the weaker cooler would be a tiny bit louder and a tiny bit hotter, and the 3060 Ti on this monster cooler would be a tiny bit cooler and maybe a tiny bit quieter. But I think the differences between these coolers is greater than the differences between the chip. And it just gives you a rough idea of what to expect in terms of size and height and things to look for when you're picking out a graphics card. Did you like this video? Smash that like button. Did you love this video? Share it with a friend. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification icon, hit the join button to support us and get a whole bunch of benefits, including early access to future videos and member exclusive videos as well. Comments in the comment section below. Dying to see what you guys all think about this. Links in the video description. Well, these are kind of really hard to find at the moment, but I will put links to Amazon, Newegg, and eBay anyway because, well, one of these days they'll be available at normal price. Maybe in 2022, but they will be eventually. In any case, thank you all so much for watching. I will see all of you next time. URCD Keys is the best source for genuine Windows 10 and Office Professional product keys that work the first time, every time. Get 20% off normal prices using our discount code TD20 and the link in the video description below. Less than $15 gets you a Windows 10 Professional OEM key that is a real product key and activates directly with Microsoft. Use it forever as it links to your Microsoft account and works through reinstalls. Get a full copy of Office 2019 Professional Plus for under $50. It redeems at setup.office.com using your Microsoft account, and it also works forever through reinstalls. We have been using URCD keys for almost 3 years and recommend you do as well.